in a positive way is always see the best and ignore the rest. Always see the best and ignore the rest. This week's parsha we have the famous story of Isaac on his deathbed. He summons Esav and he says, go hunt a game and prepare me a meal and I will eat it, and after I eat the meal I will give you my blessings before I die. And we all know what happens. Rivka, the wife of Isaac, overhears this and says to Jacob, we have to preempt your brother and get the blessings for you. So she says, run to the cattle, go get a sheep, I'll cook it, prepare it, and you'll go to your father. We all know what happens. Jacob goes, the father is blind, he deceives his father, he gets the blessings. So the question is, if there was cattle, if there were sheep in the stock, why did Isaac have to go send Esav off on a hunting expedition to go get animals, to get a game? He could have just said what Rebecca said, go get the sheep from the pen. Furthermore, you could assume that hunting is not a very Jewish sport. So why would he send him on to go hunt? Hunting is not exactly what Isaac was into. Esav was a hunter, but not Isaac. So why would he do that? And the answer is as follows. We find, the Talmud says, there was a great rabbi, his name was Reb Shimon ben Gamliel, and he said, I strive my whole life to honor my parents to the best of my ability. And I think I did pretty well. It's not arrogant for the rabbis to say this because they were being honest. He said, no one honored their father like I did. This is what Reb Shimon ben Gamliel said. But he said, even I didn't come to the level of honor that Esav showed his father. You see, Esav had this one mitzvah he was passionate about, and that was honoring his father. And what else was Esav passionate about? Hunting. Right away when the Torah talks about Jacob and Esav, it says Jacob was a man of the tent, he studied Torah, and Esav was a man of the field, he loved hunting. So what does Isaac do? What's Isaac trying to do? He's trying to connect with his son. He has this son who's not exactly following in his ways, but he wants to maintain a relationship with him. He wants to draw him back in. So he says, what are the things my son loves? He loves honoring his father, and he loves hunting. So go hunt a meal and bring me dinner. And by that, I'll be able to bond with my child. And the powerful lesson here is that if we want to connect with people, especially with our children and our grandchildren, we have to do what they enjoy, not what we enjoy. Sometimes parents want the kids to do what they want. But you have to get to your kid's level, and you have to enjoy what they enjoy. Maybe you don't enjoy going to sporting events, but you go with your kid because that's what he enjoys. His baseball game is the most important thing in the world, so you go to the game, right? We should always say, how do I engage my child or my grandchild through the things that they're interested in, to the things that they care about, to the things that they're passionate about, rather than impose my passions upon them. And through that, you can gain a deep and strong relationship with them. There is a beautiful story by Rabbi Yaakov Kamenetsky. He was one of the Torah giants of the previous generation, a brilliant scholar. And he once had to go to a doctor's office in Manhattan for something. And he was a man with a long black coat, a black hat, a white beard. He sits down in the waiting room, and there was this little African-American boy sitting right across of him in the waiting room. And what does this great rabbi do? There was some toys in the room, I guess, because it was for children also. So he picks up a ball, and he rolls it across the floor to this kid across the waiting room. Kid gets the ball, he rolls it back to Rabbi Yaakov Kamenetsky. Rabbi Yaakov Kamenetsky's son, sitting there, can't believe it. His father, this great rabbi, is sitting there playing roly-poly with this 6-year-old African-American kid. So later he asked his father, he said, what was that all about? He says, look, how many rabbis is this kid going to interact with in his life? He says, I wanted to do something that he'll always remember, that rabbis that look like me are friendly, nice people who they could play ball with and leave that impression with him. Rabbi Yaakov Kamenetsky could have opened the book and studied Torah. He could have done more important things with his time. But he wanted to connect with that child. And so he tossed him a ball and played ball with him. And that's what Yitzchak tries to do with his son. As they say, you got to play ball with people. Sometimes you got to play their game, so to speak, to engage them. And Isaac is the ultimate father who doesn't want to give up on his child. But that represents not giving up on any Jewish child. We have to engage Jews and our family members and whoever we interact with and try to find the one mitzvah maybe that they care about and draw them in through that mitzvah.